My name is Kωνσταντίνου, Μαλλιαρού, and I represent the Supreme Council of Ethnic, or as it's known with the acronym YSEE. The Hellenic Council of Ethnic Hellenes is the foremost organization in Greece today, representing the Hellenic, indigenous, and ancestral tradition. This tradition, known as Hellenism, is the same tradition as existed before the coming of Judeo-Christianity. Can everybody hear me, by the way? Okay. After the widespread infestation of Christianity during the antiquity, when Hellenism was outlawed by the Christianized Byzantine state and systematically eradicated in its overt form, it continued to exist clandestinely for obvious reasons of survival. It has survived as such throughout the Middle Ages, during both the Byzantine occupation and the later Turkish occupation. It was this survival of the Hellenic tradition which, coupled with the momentum of the Enlightenment in Europe, gave birth to the movement for Greek independence and the establishment of the present Greek state. Unfortunately, once Greek independence was achieved with the Revolutionary War of 1821, the conservative Christian Orthodox forces, which were opposed to the struggle for independence in the first place, came to establish the backward and corrupt political system that characterizes the Greece of today. Once again, genuine Hellenism became a target for persecution by the newly formed Greek state, which even appropriated the term Hellenism itself, redefining its meaning to describe the new status quo they created. Today, our organization, the Supreme Council of Ethnic Hellenes, is organized as a network of Hellenic communities, organized in various regions of Greece, Cyprus, and the United States, with more regions in development. Our primary objective is what we call the re-Hellenization of the Greek people, the majority of which today are Christian Orthodox. By re-Hellenization, we mean the restoration of the Hellenic ancestral tradition. Our approach is communal rather than individualistic. Our community is based on the paradigm, both structurally and functionally, of the ancient Greek polis, also referred to as a city-state today. This brings to bear a certain collectivity of action and dynamism which can accomplish a lot more than a loose coalition of individuals of the same number. Each individual who joins one of our communities, depending on their level of involvement and dedication, is recognized as a citizen, if more active, or a simple member if less active. Recognition is commensurate with the level of contribution. Our communities are further organized based on 4 components or activities: the social component, the religious, the educational or intellectual, that's one thing, and the component of activism. The reason for this organizational focus is because it reflects the different interests of activity of the various members, and it has proved most practical over time. Many members join because they are interested in the social activities of the respective community they join. This gives them the opportunity to interact with other young-minded people, meet new friends, participate in various social and cultural activities, and generally enrich their lives by rediscovering their ethnic identity. Additionally, many members who are not ready the movement matures. By this method, we have attracted members that started as atheists or agnostics interested in cultural Hellenism, who later became some of the most ardent supporters of the religious aspect of the community. This is important because we do not turn away potential members simply because they're not ready religiously, but entice them to rediscover their ancestral traditions on their own time and their own terms. The one rule that our members are expected to observe is that they must respect and defend the Hellenic religion, regardless of their personal belief. We also impress upon everyone the unique importance of religion in determining national identity. In the Hellenic religion, I should start by mentioning that we adhere to the ancestral belief that the gods are the same for all nations. The only difference from nation to nation is how they are perceived in terms of attributes and by what name they are called. When our ancestors visited different lands and peoples, they respected the local religions and always correlated their local deities with our own, deciphering which local god corresponded to which Hellenic god, etc. This is important because it's in stark contrast with a practice in Abrahamic religions, each of which claims a uniqueness for their own deity, being Yahweh or Jesus Yahweh and the bird rolled into one, or Allah. In Abrahamism, there is a certain absolutist specificity, the slightest deviation from which is often the cause of civil war, which, as we know historically, has in turn been the cause of countless loss of lives as well as untold fortune and misery. The religious component of each of our present-day communities is, of course, based on our ancestral prototypes. We do not have an independent priesthood in hierarchical form, as in the Abrahamic religions, that directs the way of life of the community. Those who wish to participate in ceremonies undergo a training and are appointed as priests by the community. This way they serve the interests of the community instead of the community serving them. Our communities hold a monthly celebration with a religious ritual dedicated to a god or goddess of the Hellenic pantheon. Our ceremonies are attended by most of our members regardless of their area of interest. In the YSCE branch in the United States, which operates mainly in New York right now, 2 of our priests are recognized by the state and are given licenses to perform legal marriage ceremonies. This brings us to the component of intellection or education. This is the most important activity of the community, which is unfortunately not espoused by every member as much as we would like to. Cultural research and study, or what we call in our case Hellenic education, are the single most important activity that guarantees our survival and prevalence in this long-term struggle. It's a super weapon that empowers those who employ it, rendering them very successful in their endeavors. Our research and study encompasses primarily the fields of history, sociology, philosophy, and theology. On a secondary level, we research anything that we may consider of value in helping us achieve our objectives. We approach all manner of research and study with strictly academic standards. Although we are obviously not disinterested in the matter, we strive to maintain objectivity and give the benefit of the doubt wherever necessary in order to search for the truth. As has been mentioned previously, we too frown upon conspiracy theories and sensationalism, however titillating they may sound. Disinformation does a lot of damage in what we're trying to achieve. We endeavor to check the sources of each author wherever possible, and give preference in reading the primary sources based on the Apparatus Criticus version of the original text. In each of our communities, we strive to have a group of people that study and research our history and culture in order to have the knowledge and wisdom to guide the rest of our members. I will use a modern term to describe this type of group, a term which we are perhaps familiar with from our school days. This group of dedicated students and researchers in the movement can be referred to as the intelligentsia of the community. I personally believe that any of our Hellenic communities that does not strive to have its own intelligentsia, comprised of at least 2 or 3 researchers, is condemned to eventual failure. I subscribe to the belief that no intelligentsia equals no continuity equals no future. We know that education was the means by which our ancestors, the ancient Hellenes, were able to thrive and maintain their identity, no matter how far they settled from their mother city. We also know from research that this successful model of a community, with its self-active citizen members guaranteeing the education of their children by maintaining the schools and thereby their institutions and traditions, work every time. This is also the model that was emulated by the Abrahamic religions in order to survive and establish themselves. The measure of the success of the various Abrahamic religions is not based on the particular metaphysical beliefs or traditions that they profess, but is directly proportional to their understanding and implementation of this cultural educational model. Make no mistake here, I am not saying this made them more educated in the general sense or more humanitarian, but it was the key to reinforcing their particular traditions upon their young and keeping them focused on their communal directive as well as on the importance of their perceived mission. I would therefore entreat all brethren here from the various nations to pay particular attention to your respective cultural education and strive to develop an intelligentsia in every one of your communities. Your intelligentsia will give you the particular ideology that is necessary for the community to develop and prosper and will guarantee your survival. It doesn't matter what you call them. We use the term intelligentsia here generically, as long as they fulfill the function of cultural study and research and in turn teach and guide others. This is what is important. What is also important is that each group here today, however small, survives. Every group that we lose will bring the rest of us one step closer to extinction. As we become more successful in our efforts, the Abrahamic establishment in our respective countries is likely to take countermeasures. These people do not realize that their true national identity lies with us, and they will believe they are doing God's work or the right thing in trying to stop us. We must therefore be prepared for this and do whatever is necessary to survive, including maintaining the union between us so they cannot pick us off one by one. We in YSE maintain an extensive bibliography in many topics of common interest in thousands of books, mostly in PDF form, as well as scholarly papers and interesting articles. We are at the disposal of all the brethren here, especially the ones engaged in research and study, to share our resources, including reading material and experience. You can contact us at, You can contact us at alliance@yse.org, and we will establish communication with you to help wherever we can. Here, I want to touch upon one last thing before I close. Missionary activity, namely the pursuit of converts to Christianity or Islam, should be considered a crime against humanity. The missionary religions, A, consider the target culture inferior, which is an extreme form of racism, and B, attempt to destroy the target culture through conversion of its members. Humanity is doing more to save endangered species of animals, while it tolerates or is completely oblivious to the systematic destruction of human cultures going on in the world today. Because of its predatory nature and predatory nature of human national cultures, proselytism and conversion should be outlawed. Only the cultural awakening and reclamation of the victims back to their ancestral cultures should be legitimate. The practice of the thief cannot be condoned. Only the victim has the right to try and reclaim what was stolen from them. Honor and glory to the gods and ancestors. Thank you.